94.3 WYBC, the rhythm of the city and home of the Juan Castillo Morning Show. Good morning, New Haven. This is Moving Target. I'm your host, Jay Kemp. And back with me, is my comrade, Remedy Sharif.
Hey.
What's up, bro?
Man, Super Saturday. We back in the building.
It's good to see you, man.
Yeah, man. It's been a journey. It's definitely been a journey, bro.
People missed you, man.
I miss being here. I miss everybody too, bro.
No doubt.
It's been it's been a journey, been a whirlwind, man.
I know we lost a really great man, which is why you weren't here.
Yeah, man. My father, man. My father, Dr. Imam Abdul Majid Kareem Hassan, man, transitioned from cancer, F cancer.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
we
no
all
doubt,
say,
no doubt.
And a really, really great man, a pioneer, not only in New Haven, Connecticut, but, throughout this country, man. Like the works that he done and a lot of brothers done, is phenomenal.
I think people don't really know the history behind your family. And in Islam, Malcolm, Louis Farrakhan, all these connections. Like, how deep does your family go with that?
So my grandparents, my mother's mother and father, most High be pleased with them. The first mosque that was constructed, in New Haven, Connecticut, was in my grandmother's basement. So that's when the brothers were learning. They were from the Nation of Islam. Master Farad Muhammad brought the teachings of Islam to America, and he taught Elijah Muhammad, God be pleased with all of them, for their works. And Elijah Muhammad was the leader of the Nation of Islam, and under him were Farrakhan and Malcolm X and Wallace Dean Muhammad, who later took over Islam, the American Islam Society here in Connecticut, or here in America. And it's just the legacy that they left, man, is amazing. And brothers were, connected, and we had time to, be with some of them. I'm younger, so I didn't, get to meet Malcolm and all, some of them. But
Malcolm was teaching here in New Haven.
He's come to New Haven. Yeah, he's come to New Haven and taught.
And when he taught, it was your family's house.
Yes, sir. My grandmother's.
That's
my
incredible,
man. So it's a beautiful thing, man. But
beautiful legacy.
It was only 2 men in the country left that were part of the Nation of Islam, ministers, and transitioned to be imams, leader of the mosque in Connecticut and throughout the country. And one of them was my father, man. You know what I mean? And his older brother, Kareem Hassan. So these men and women, the work that they did and contributed, we talk about a lot real quick. We talk about a lot about Martin Luther King and different ones that did beautiful work, in America, contributing towards the success of our people. That we see on the mainstream level. That we see on the mainstream level, but we don't talk about a lot. We don't talk enough about brothers like Malcolm and these different ones that really had strong impact in creating a strong nature and dynamic within, people of color and the family and all the things they did. It was, it was beautiful, man. And my father was one of them, man. And it showed at his janazah, as we call it. It showed, man, by the people, by the turnout. He touched all people, man. You had people from highest, political seats to different religious, seats, to brothers that were incarcerated, because he was the chaplain of the imams in the Connecticut state prisons and all of them. So he was able to touch and reach and do all these different things, and just trying to bring peace, man. That was his main mission, establishing peace, establishing Islam, and establishing peace, man, for people.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, you carrying that legacy, brother.
Love him, man. I love him, and I'm thankful, and I'm so grateful for him. Man, he came into my family. My mother had 6 kids.
Okay.
He came in, you know what I mean? And I don't call him my stepfather. He never called me his stepson. He said, that's my son. I knew him for 40-something years. Had him as a father for 30-something years. You know what I'm saying? So, but he came in and stepped in, with the woman, a great woman. I was raised by a queen who got hustled like a king. Yeah. You know what I mean? But he came in that dynamic, and had 7 children himself. And came in and still raised us up and did whatever. He told me, if you want to go to college, pick what college you want to go to, and I'll send you there. Anywhere you want to go, pick what college.
Wow.
Seeing mental health issues, I pushed away from that,
Right,
not
right.
knowing because I was afraid that he would leave like my biological left,
Right.
and all of these different things. So it's different dynamics there. But just in my adulthood, being able to sit and think about that, like, yo, man, he told me pick what college you want to go to. I don't care where you want to go. Pick a college, and that's where I'm sending you. All you gotta do is go do your thing.
Wow.
So that's one of the small things, man.
No doubt.
You know
No
what I
doubt.
mean?
So much more.
Great, man. And lastly, I just want to shout out my nephew, man, broke his leg last night playing football.
Sai?
Jabril.
Okay.
My nephew Jabril Roach, man, he plays for Hill House. So I want to tell him that I love him and speedy recovery. Broke his leg or his ankle, you know what I mean? And he was pretty hurt and down about it. But he's a soldier. He's a frontline soldier. And he's a soldier
No
too.
doubt.
So get
No
well,
doubt.
Jabril, Mr. Brillins.
Speaking of injuries, man,
Yeah.
King Spencer's not going to be here because he got an injury with basketball. I forgot what he injured, but this is like the second time he got an injury in
He
basketball,
might need
man.
to stop.
I think he's a hacker. I'm telling you, he's one
Wow.
of those people.
One of them just wild,
Just
dudes.
wild players.
King Spence, get right, man.
Yeah, man, rest up. I know that balling's important. And we have a special guest in the building. We have Grace the Stallion, all right, host of Talk It Out Radio. And by the way, this is before Megan the Stallion.
Get it right. That's right.
All right, you've been around way before
Way
Megan
before.
the Stallion. So
Way before.
we got a whole
9 years.
So you the original.
Original.
yeah. We got a whole bunch of Instagrams now. So
Yes.
names changing to the Stallion.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Little petite things.
Everybody.
The Stallion.
Even Megan, she's going like the pony, not the
Oh.
stallion. Don't get me started,
Okay.
y'all.
Shots fired.
I don't like how this girl coined stole my whole name. Good morning, y'all. Good morning.
Good It's good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for coming through. All right, we're gonna have a fun show though, because we're gonna just talk. We're gonna open up the phone lines after we kind of talk about maybe something that's on our timeline, because that's what we're gonna do. It's what's on your timeline. So what has gone down, and y'all can call in too, 203-562-9430. If there's an article or a current event or a topic that you feel is just really hot and is important and it's on your timeline, call us up, 203-562-9430, and we're going to definitely talk about that, all right? But before I even get into what's on my timeline, what I want to talk about, Rem, you might know more about this.
Mhm.
What's really going, does Cap want to play football? Is this a real thing?
I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. Okay, so I'll say it like this.
I just know you're like a headstrong football fan.
Yes, sir. And I'll say it like this, man. I do think he really wants to play because it's in him, man. I think you see.
Why he should have been putting out videos of him working out and him. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really want to play, to me, I'm gonna be like, yo, I got social media, everybody on my timeline, everybody on my Twitter. Y'all gonna see me playing every day until one of y'all teams is like.
They know he can.
But not only that,
Yeah,
not
but
only,
still,
but
it's been 3
They
years.
pushed him out. It's not like he quit or something.
and everything is timing. Everything is timing. He needed to let this go away to a certain degree, and I'm sure his public relation people or whatever, you know what I mean. I'm sure they might have some influence on that. Like, yo, just fall way back right now for him. And sadly enough,
Don't say
but
anything, because he literally has
just,
said nothing.
Just fall back. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to play again, you gotta like fall away. So he fell back, and now that it's kind of the dust kind of settled on it, and Agent Orange up in Washington's not tweeting about it no more. So now it's the dust settled. He putting out his videos and trying. And I
He don't appreciate you, man. Donald Trump said he don't appreciate you talking
Oh man,
about
I wish I could get within arm's reach.
I heard Remedy. I don't like it. It's a trash show. It's a terrible show.
What?
Arm's reach, bruh.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. It's not to say that he doesn't want to play football. Like it's not in him. I know it's in him.
Yeah.
But I really do feel like if you wanted to present more of a case to remind owners, yo, you need to look past that whole the image, look past all that, and remember, I'm the quarterback you need.
But see,
I
back
feel like
then they're just like no.
right
It
back
don't matter
then.
what, no,
But
so-
what about even before Jay-Z made this trend? Because now it's saying that Jay-Z actually had leaned and was like, look, I risked my image. Y'all need to, you know what I'm saying? But then you got a lot of players who are like saying it's just a PR stunt. It's not
I was
necessarily
getting ready to ask that. Do you think they're just doing this
Yeah,
just
that's
to say we gave him a chance?
right. That's
not
what.
good enough.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna say. I don't know. Maybe they'll say he's not good enough. I just feel like he's. To me, it's like you chose now to have a video of you doing some workouts.
But
It's
see,
like,
now,
why couldn't you do that already?
Because he could have, but the impact of it now, it's like he don't went away in some of their minds. He don't went away, the dust settled, everybody's focused on other things. So now him coming with it now is almost like a fresh impact of it, like, oh yeah, wow, Colin Kaepernick. He done. And the course of the season allowed them to see it's so many quarterbacks that, come on, man, Colin needs to be playing. It's so many quarterbacks that he's better than. So,
like your quarterback.
I wouldn't say
Cowboys.
Nah, man, he's not better than
Cowboys.
Yeah, man, they hate my squad, man. They hate my squad.
You don't like Cowboys? She's
I'm
gonna stick around.
I'm a Giants fan. I'm sorry. I'm a New Yorker.
See, I'll rock with the Giants before I rock with the Cowboys.
I mean, they just not better than us, though. That's all. I'm gonna be truthful.
goodness.
And we suck right now.
That's true.
Because of our coaching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We suck right now only because of the coaching. We got a phenomenal group of players. The coaching sucks. Absolutely horrible. So, but you know, truth be told, they're just not better than us. You know, the NFC East, they're just not better than us.
And my boyfriend's a big, huge Cowboys fan. And
Shout
that's
out to
all
your boyfriend.
he throws in my face.
Shout out.
And we fight all the
I
time.
hope you watching, bro. Keep your head up. We're gonna get rid of the coach. Keep your head up.
He said we gonna get rid of the coach. You guys, I feel like him and Jay had this plan the whole time though. Since everybody was bashing Jay when he merged with them, I think this was his and Colin's plan the whole time.
I don't think so.
Nah, I think
Jay always got a plan.
I think it's like what they. I think it's like what they said. I think Jay was like, "Listen, I risked because of what I did with you. My reputation took a hit.
Right.
I'm gonna need y'all to do this." I don't think it was planned.
Jay knew that people was gonna bash him for merging with them.
I don't think so because
they went in on.
But the reason why I don't think so is because everything Jay does hasn't really been looked at. You know, as soon as Jay does something, for the most part, his fans and the media and everything, we just, that's Jay. Jay did that. Everybody tends to roll with it. I don't think he really thought he was going to take a hit like he did. I don't.
I think he knew that.
You think he knew that? I don't know. I think it was a surprise to him.
He had an ultimate plan.
I think it was a surprise. I think his ultimate plan was, I'm gonna get this money.
Roll Colin back in there somehow anyway. If it wasn't for Colin, he wouldn't even got that deal.
It's not the way he was talking. I mean, it's not the way he was talking in the sense where he didn't bash Colin Kaepernick. You know what I'm saying? But he did say this isn't about getting a man a job. He did say, like, this isn't even about that. This is about something bigger than that.
It is.
And I feel like once he started taking heat the way he did, I feel like, yeah, that's when he said, okay, I can now pull in this favor. That's when it's going to get me the people on my side. Mm-hmm. But I don't believe he went in thinking, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm probably going to get bashed, and then I'm going to bring Colin in. I don't think it went like that.
Maybe not the bashing part, but I think his whole plan was to somehow bring Colin into it anyway. Period.
It's possible. It's possible.
I mean, anything's possible, but honestly, I don't see it. And what you're saying, like he said, it's possible. You know what I mean? It gives you support. Say, well, okay, yeah, that could be. I just don't see
those
it.
Those doors open because of Colin taking a knee. I'm sorry.
I just don't.
It would not have happened. He even told Jermaine Dupri, don't take the same deal, and then he took it. That was his plan the whole time.
Yeah, well, it was that was some backdoor. I'm gonna get this money on a bigger level. That's not. I'm gonna get Colin his job back.
But he has way more of an effect than Jermaine Dupri would have had.
Yeah, but that still wasn't. I'm gonna get Colin his.
The picture is why he did this.
No,
I do.
No,
I
getting Colin his job back was not what Jay was.
No,
Jay was like,
Colin.
I'm getting this money.
Not just for
I'm getting this money off of.
Period. People who never had a chance to be in the NFL at Super Bowl will now have that chance because Jay is there. I'm telling you.
You know what she got playing in her head? I'm a hustler, baby. I just want you to know.
Yeah.
That's all she can hear
I'm not gonna
right
give
now.
Jay that much credit where he was like, look, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna get Colin his job back. I don't think he was like that. But
with the guys.
I wanna go to something that was on my timeline. Alright? And y'all could call up about this again, 203-562-9430. Let us know your thoughts and opinions on this specific article. Trevor Noah. Y'all know who Trevor Noah is, right? So he said that he's not a fan of cohabitation ever, as far as with married couples like not living together before and not living together after. You know,
That's great.
he says, I'm a big advocate for not living together ever, even if you're in a marriage. I think one of the biggest reasons people get divorced and relationships break up is caused by this cohabiting bullish that people believe is the way relationships are supposed to be. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well,
we'll go with you, our guest. Let's go with you,
absolutely.
Grace.
I think that's bull. That's
For real?
Yes, that is the entire reason why a couple gets together and get married. Again, you become one. How can you become one in two separate households? How can you build together in two separate households? I mean, even if you want to go to the religion part of it, that is when you're supposed to merge together once you say I do. So not saying I do, I don't understand that either when you live together and in separate beds. That's just, to me, doesn't make sense. That's not the dynamic of a marriage. So I totally disagree with him.
Totally disagree. Man, what you think?
To me, it's many different layers to it. And he's a comedian.
No, he's that serious.
No, I know he's that serious
all
about that, but then he's a comedian still at heart. You know, he's a comedian. He's funny as hell. But to me, I mean, it's just if that's how he feels, that's what it comes down to me. He might feel like that. You know, to me, if I'm getting married, yeah, I want my wife there. If I marry you, that's because you're my best friend, you're my mate, you're my love, everything like that. I want you there with me. I want to go through what we're gonna go through together, man. I'm not gonna, roll over. I want to feel something warm, man.
Right.
You know.
Well, it's not to say that y'all wouldn't be able to somehow have your time together in that sense, but does the cohabitation, does the idea of my space now has to cohabitate with your space, and does that have to take place in a relationship to be successful?
I'm going to say no. It doesn't have to take place. I agree it doesn't have to take place. It depends on the people. Their mindsets might be strong enough if their pockets is strong enough. There's a lot of dynamics. If their pockets are strong enough to have two households and they're together, then it don't,
Okay, so what do you think about what he said? It's a waste.
It may be.
It's a waste.
It may be, but
and then it leaves the door open for infidelity. It leaves that door open.
That too, but again, it depends on the people. See, listen, it doesn't matter if we're in the same household or if we're in the same city, the same state. If you're gonna cheat, you're gonna cheat. So
but you're making it easier now.
Nah,
you're making it easier.
But I can understand that. But for me, there is no easier, yo. It shouldn't be no easier. I'll say it like that. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be no easier because if you go on, let's say you go on a business trip and you gotta go out of state for a few days, for a week or whatever, because you working. You in a whole nother state. Right. You may live in the same household, but is that what I'm saying?
That's not your lifetime.
But it's also the fact when you say make it easier, it's like, all right, so we're putting up these walls to make sure it's not easy for us to go do something.
Temptation is everywhere. That's like if you walked past a bank every day and the money was just sitting right there. How many days could you really walk past that money and not touch it?
And it's a bank? I'm not going to touch it because I'm going to get arrested.
You might get away with it. You might not, but that temptation will be there. Now, if it's secure and it's in a vault and you can't get to it, that makes you say, hey, I'm not going to touch that.
But you being in the household with your mate doesn't make it a vault, doesn't make it secure.
It makes it less tempting. How many people go rob a bank? Only the really, really crazy ones. Same thing with the relationship. You're not going to do it if that temptation is not in your face every single time.
I don't think the reason why you shouldn't do it is because temptation. I don't think that's a good thing. But I do think that, to his point, that there is this expectation that my space needs to be completely connected to your space. I understand the idea of us being one, but I was still me before I became one. You were still you before you became one. Mm-hmm. And there needs to be a part of you that needs to stay there. There needs to be a part of you that really doesn't have to be connected to me.
But living together doesn't take away you from being who you are.
Yeah, you can have two rooms. You can have two separate rooms.
Again, right?
My dungeon.
No
doubt.
Your lair in the house, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
You guys can have that space.
Absolutely, but for some people, if you're able to, and you're saying, okay, well, I have this space, but I got my guest house out there, and I'm going to be. Sometimes I'm going to sleep out there. Sometimes I want to sleep in the bed by myself. So what's the difference?
I don't know about that.
You
can go and have your space, but we sleep together.
See, and that's what I'm saying. I feel, and again, I would rather, obviously, I'd still rather have a place with the person I'm with, but at the same time, it's important for me to make sure that if, for example, we don't have a big enough space where I got my own man cave and you got your own, if that's the case, then we need to work something out where I still have my own individuality. Because I think what happens is, and I think what he's getting to, is that we get too caught up in, okay, now we're one and our individuality's gone. You're not an individual no more. We're one. We are one union. Where you, like, I need to know this, you need to know this. And when we lose our individuality, I think that's where marriage suffers. I think that's where relationships suffer.
Yeah, because the individuality is the thing that even brought it together. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You like that person for who they were, their individuality. So it may suffer, man. It's a whole dynamic, and again, to me, it goes down to the mindset of the individuals.
Right, I don't see how that
You know what I mean? To the individual. So for some individuals, if they got two separate households, and look, I got a set of keys to mine, she got a set of, to her, she got a set of keys to mine. You could come and go
what about that?
from here as you please. You know what I mean?
That's what you do when you're dating.
No, but what about that?
No, if we dating, I'm not gonna necessarily give you the keys to my place.
I have keys.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm not.
After how long?
After how long? About 5-6 months.
5-6 months, and you had keys to the spot?
Yes, I
It
do.
depends to
And
me.
we just made a year last week. I
It-
had the keys for like 6
It
months.
depends on the dynamic again, to me, to the individuals. You know, if you feel that connection that strongly after 6 months, then, then Most High bless you all for having that connection. You know what I'm saying? But after 5-6 months, it's like, nah, you're not getting no keys to the place. You're not.
5-6 months? No, we got to. There's more things we need to work out. We need to understand.
What are you working on? Like, why does it take so long to know?
5-6 months to have the keys to my place?
I need it because
If I'm there every day anyway,
because
why not?
I need a solid year to learn a person. On 5 or 6 months, you find out them 6 months on the end of that, you still finding different things out about this person.
I might not fully know your love language yet. That's
deep.
Your love language is very important to me. And 5-6 months, things happen. People change. Things start to. The newness wears off. I need to learn your love language before, like, fully. And you need to know my love language before I could just give you the keys to come and go as you please to my spot.
Why? What are you hiding? Like, what is the big
See,
deal?
but why is it a hiding?
What is the
thing?
big deal?
It's not about hiding.
If you're over her place and she's over your place, and what's the big deal?
But why is it a hiding
It's just a
issue?
key.
Why it doesn't have to be a hiding
So
issue.
what other reason would you not want to give her your key?
I mean, because it's something about somebody just being able to come and go as they please. And after 5 or 6, I just feel after 5 or 6 months, I don't know you well enough. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. And then in the society that we live in today, people blow your mind. People that you knew for 10, 20 years blow your mind doing some whole otherness. And it's like, what the heck? I've never seen this come. I knew this person for 20 years, and I'm living that.
So you think they'll be like, go get your stuff?
No, but well, I mean, it's still.
But I don't think it's a thing of like violating space of like you're gonna find something. I think it's
Right.
I think it's more that I need to know that when you have the keys to my place, we are now moving into a very
Another level.
a whole other level, a union.
That's
And
like the commitment before the commitment.
so just like with before moving into a union, I gotta know I have to know that you know me and you learned me well, and I gotta know I know you and learned you well. Because I made the mistakes where I thought I knew and learned,
Yeah, man.
and then after 2-3 years, it's like, oh,
Wow.
alright, so now some things are adding up, like how this doesn't work for me.
Time frames are different. There's people who
Time frames
married
are
in 3
different.
months and been together 30, 40 years. There are people
Time
who, like
frames
you
are
said,
different.
10 years dating and then they get married and they divorce in a year.
No, I agree.
So it's like, how do you tell when you really feel comfortable to know that person? I guess it's just a connection.
It's just a connection. That's why I
It's
said, and Most High bless that. If you have that,
Yeah.
feel, that's special.
And I agree.
And that's great, man. And y'all, keep rocking on.
I agree.
You know?
I agree that it is the connection. I mean, like the very first date that I had with my lady, like we already knew what it was.
Right.
We already knew. You know what I mean? And like now it's going on 3 years. You know what I'm saying? So off the very first date, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, keys.
Well, yes, she got keys now. She got keys now. But for a long period of time, I mean, for that duration of time, within the 5-6 months, we have had extensive conversations. We even read the book, The Five Love Languages. You know what I'm saying? And talked about it with each other and learned about what's your love language. Did things that I knew I didn't do in the past. So it really does matter about what foundation you create. But if you're dating and here and there you had those conversations, but for the most part you're just having fun and you're getting to know someone and like you're really, physically is there and all that other stuff, I feel like that you still haven't dug deep yet. Mm-hmm. And getting the keys, it's a no bueno. Like it's not gonna happen yet.
I need more time. See, in speaking in relationship wise, you know what I mean? I decided that dating that I wasn't gonna be sexually intimate with a woman again until we got to that point where I was ready to marry her. She's ready to marry me. Because I looked at so many of my relationships that failed. The one thing that was dominant in that relationship was sex before we became best friends.
I want to go to a phone call real quick.
That's dope. I like that.
94.3. Oh, hold up. Can we?
She just came in. Tell them, sister.
Video games.
Yes.
Nintendo games. They don't want to listen to nothing. They want to know all your business.
Facts.
They don't want to put nothing on the table. They want to know all your business. Right?
Red light. I don't know this one, do I? Wait, can we learn who you are real quick? Who we speaking with? Keep it gully. Just don't cuss, but keep it gully. All right.
Tell them.
Nah, but we appreciate that, and we feel your energy too. But not disabled, but stable, baby. Speak on
No
it.
doubt.
But let me say this. Let me just say this to you though, Queen. We keep it 100%.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Keep shining.
We appreciate you, Shine. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bless. That was hilarious. She came in like, no, it's like she was already going in on somebody.
That's like if you was in the studio, you'd be like, yo, hold on, we just started. You gotta bring that back for a minute. We just started the meeting. She came in off the rip going in, man. Thank you, Shine.
But I do, listen, man. I think on both ends, I think men. You'll find some men that are like that. You'll find some women that are like that.
Yeah, for sure.
But when it comes to and somebody actually posted and said that to remember that Trevor Noah was actually born in two households. Because of I guess where he was living. So maybe that had something to do with his outlook on it.
Right.
For me, it has been when it comes to your individual space. I wouldn't say that I would want separate rooms or live in separate places. But it's just important for me that individuality doesn't get compromised because I've made the mistake in really focusing on we are one a lot, like to the point where it's like, oh, we won, yeah, like we are really one, and so I kind of left that individuality in a sense. At one point, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, because that's the only time that you do that.
And that's where I feel like you shouldn't.
Well,
I feel like when you're one and you're married, I feel like there's a union, but you still do not lose your individuality.
No, absolutely. Just like you work on everything else, you work on keeping your individuality.
Right.
You guys gotta have that talk. Y'all gotta talk that out.
Right, but what I've done and what I see people do a lot is when they're married and they're one, they lose more of that individuality, and it happens a lot for people.
Right.
It really does. Because, religious people who just believe in that union, it's not to say that they don't know who they are no more, but it is to say that the oneness it's like when it comes to your space, when it comes to your time, when it comes to things that you do, a lot of people lose that because it's like, I'm married. Like,
Then
I'm
how
one with
are there so many successful marriages then? People that have been married 30, 40, 50 years?
There's not, though. There's
There
not.
are a lot
But-
of
but-
people.
but-
The divorce rate is more high than ever.
But you guys are looking at divorce only. Look, talk to the people who are successfully
I
married.
do. And a lot of those
There's
people,
a lot of them.
and a lot of them still believe in that oneness. And if you talk about space and
And they have
individuality,
it. They worked it out.
there's a lot that I know that don't. There's a lot that I know that they feel they're okay with it. They're okay with saying, yeah, like, we're one. There might be times where I might go hang out with my girls or I might go hang out with my
Right.
fellas. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if we have a place where you can't have your man cave, I can't have my separate or whatever, it's like, then if we're not gonna have our own space, you know what I'm saying? I need to definitely have my time where it's not just me by myself, but it's like I still know that I'm my own person all the time. You know what I'm saying? My individuality, and I have my marriage. And there's a lot of people who don't agree with that, and they're happy with that. They're okay with that because they're like, no, I got my husband, or I got my wife, and we're one. We make there's some decisions that you're not always gonna make with me, and that's okay.
I think it's hard though to look at the divorce rate that's now today in comparison when we compare it with these things, because the marriages that have lasted have come off a whole different set of morals, a whole different set of values. It's a whole concept of understanding. The minds are so different today, and I think a lot of us, the young people, I think sometimes we run into marriage and don't even understand what that whole thing is.
Yeah, we don't understand
what
those dynamics.
So they're getting.
We think marriage started when we said I do.
Right. Right. You know what I mean?
And
And didn't understand. So and back in the day, you had courting. There's no more courting anymore. Everybody jumping in the sack right quick. You think you want to be with this person, you're getting married, then it's like, I don't know you, I gotta get a divorce. You know what I mean? All of these things. So it's that whole dynamic.
And also, I think a lot of people, are just looking at, especially with women. I think, and statistically, a lot of women, specifically black women, don't see viable candidates for black men. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of black women just feel like, yo, I'm focusing on my education, my career, and my boss moves. You know what I'm saying? So marriage, like, I'm good. So you either have divorce rates or you have a lot of black women that are just like, I'm good. You know what I mean?
I don't think any woman wants to be alone. I mean, I think we use those things just to keep our mind focused off of having another bad relationship. Those women probably had a lot of bad relationships and just said, I'm focused on this and I'm focused on that, because they don't want to go through that anymore. But let Mr. Prince Charming, who's going to do right, come through. They're going to do both. They're going to keep pursuing their career, and they're going to have that man as well.
I agree, but that's why I think the other part of that, other than the boss moves, is the fact that they feel like a lot of brothers just
aren't on their level.
They're not. You heard Shine. Shine was like,
it's true.
They all about that game. Get your stuff right. I'm stable and able.
I wouldn't say all.
Definitely not say all.
A lot of brothers that are doing what they're supposed to do in relationships and marriages and dating.
I know plenty.
And I know plenty. So that comes down to me. That comes down to men and women. Start checking yourself and looking at where you're looking for that person at.
Yep.
If you're going, if you're in the club constantly trying to find a dude, or think you're gonna find somebody that you're gonna meet, and you out at the club, out at the bar, then check yourself and look where you're trying to find these men at. You know what I mean? If you going, if you meet somebody it don't have to be, but if you meet somebody out at a regular basketball game, well, he was at a game when you met me. Don't get mad when you come home and he turned on the PS4 to play 2K. You was at the game when we met. So, and that's, I'm loosely saying that. You know what I mean? But but I mean, just check where we're meeting these people at.
Yeah, but I mean, I know we had Yusef Shaw. I'm gonna put him out there. Said he comes on next after Moving Target. He was like, we had an episode on, the believe it was, we focus more on men, and statistically, black men. There's a lot of reasons why. Of course, I would never say all, but statistically, many black men. Overwhelming number of black men are dealing with lack of education issues for a number of reasons, former incarceration, a lot of factors play into that, which makes men less viable to a lot of black women. You know what I'm saying? And so he was like, nah, black women just want a white man in blackface.
Not true. Not true.
And I was like, wow. And he was
What does that even mean?
And he was upset of the fact of like, yo, you know, you bashing men. I'm like, I'm really not. It's like I'm talking about a fact of what black men specifically, are dealing with in society, which unfortunately puts us in a position where we don't seem as viable for a lot of women. You know what I'm saying?
That's because I mean, personally, I just feel like I don't think that black men and women.
You
just said, yo, that's right, brother.
He just
that's
walked
right.
in.
What does that mean?
I don't think that black men and black women are sensitive enough to understand the struggles that we have faced living in this country.
Right.
You don't think black women?
Black men and women.
Okay.
I don't think we're sensitive to each other enough in understanding the things that we suffer in this country.
Agreed.
I mean, we are damaged. It's a lot of psychological damage, and we don't have enough empathy for each other. A black woman don't look at the black man and be like, yo, I'm gonna pull you up. Mm-hmm. I see that you're down. I know why you're down. Black men don't look at black women and say, I understand why you're angry. I've left you. I haven't protect you. Mm-hmm. I haven't did these things. So let me stand firm and show you who I am. Right. She doesn't, that nurturing that the woman is supposed to have for us, they don't have it. They just push us away a lot of times. So I think that's what that is,
But a lot of women do pull up men, but they're pulling up the wrong ones, and then that's what makes us angry and bitter, and we get tired of doing it. We're not doing it for the right black man.
Come on, Yusef, you want to get on this mic?
Need that pulling, and there'll be some great men if they just have a helping hand.
Absolutely.
But we're pulling up the wrong ones, and then we become angry.
Pulling up the ones that won't even pull up their pants.
Exactly. We're supporting the ones that don't want to get a job or take care of their children. We don't pay attention to the signs up front. We ignore it, and then later on we're angry.
We got Yusef Shaw who wants to comment since I brought him up.
I have one question.
Yes.
What is the right black man? What is the definition of the right black man?
Can I first just
wait a minute,
okay,
hold on.
Okay.
I'm asking that question because maybe I need to live up to that definition.
Wow.
Maybe I need to figure out what I'm doing wrong so that I can meet the challenges that I'm facing with my beautiful black sisters.
Right.
So if I don't know what the bar is, how can I reach it? How can I pull myself up?
So we're gonna have
by the bootstraps with no straps. That's what I'm talking about.
because we're black.
I want to be loved too.
Facts.
I want love.
Facts.
But if I don't know what I have to reach to get to that utopia, then how is it that I can reach there?
So let me go to a phone call, and we're gonna take one more phone call before.
That's all I got to say.
I know that's right.
Oh, okay. All right,
so on his question, Jay. I mean, you said you wanted to go ahead, and because we're black men, so let's help.
Oh, hold up, we got him right. Let's see.
Okay.
94.3. Yeah. What's your name, brother? Okay, thank you, brother. What's going on? Yep.
Wow.
See, I told you.
Not primary, he's saying. Not primary, but you still.
But it is primary.
Thank you.
I agree 1,000%, but you still do not. You. See, that's wrong. Okay. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. 1,000%, brother. We're gonna have to hang up because we gotta wrap up. But we thank you for your call, Larry. Appreciate you.
Thank you for your wisdom,
Right.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So again, goes back to my point.
Saying,
I never said that you lose identity.
You say
And
you
I
gotta
never-
keep it.
You gotta keep your identity. And the reason why is because when you focus still on your individuality, it doesn't mean that you're focusing on your individuality separate as like, I'm not with this person, I'm just me.
Right.
And I think that's where people get it confused. So they're like, wait, so they say what he says. I don't agree with that. I believe that when you focus on your individuality and the things that you're loving about life, passionate about life, separate from the person you're with, you're now going to take that to that person and say, hey, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm thinking. Oh, word. And the person who also has theirs is saying, I hear you, I'm gonna adjust for you. And then here's me. Okay, I'm gonna adjust for you. You know what I'm saying?
It's a give and take. It's a constant.
Absolutely, but you're
constant.
not losing your individuality, so your individuality is still a primary focus.
And that's what builds the oneness. That's what builds the oneness.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I do feel like the union has to be first, and the individuality has to be second to a degree. Whereas everything you're doing in your individuality
Is going into the union.
Is going to enhance the union and make the union great in what it's supposed to be on both ends.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. So we're gonna wrap up this last part. So Grace, why don't you?
I would have loved to have heard his opinion on this too. Like,
Okay.
I just hung up. But,
Okay.
on my timeline, we were having this huge discussion.
Oh, you want to bring that up?
Oh, I'm sorry. What was you asking me?
No, I wanted you to possibly wrap up with your
Oh,
where
I'm
they can
sorry.
catch you and everything. But we
We're
do
wrapping
need to
up.
get to that.
Yeah.
Can you
we
come
get-
back next week?
I sure can.
All right, come back
Yeah.
next week. Let's do it again.
All right, we'll
All right.
do that.
So where can everybody catch Straight Talk It Out?
Ooh, I'm Grace the Stallion. Talk It Out on all platforms. Talk It Out Radio Show on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. We also have our website, talkitoutradio.com. I'm also a fashion designer.
Okay.
Everything I wear, I dress models, celebrities, you name it, I got you. So check out my online store, m2mboutique.net. But everything is Grace the Stallion.
Yes. All right,
The
next
real
week.
one.
The real one. The real Stallion.
And she's straight from CT.
No, I'm
No,
from
no,
Harlem.
she's
You from
bro.
I'm from Harlem.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
keep
sorry.
that right.
Much respect.
Stay
Harlem.
tuned for Electric Drum. This is 94.3 WYBC. This is Moving Target. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah.